It's time to talk about the Gamma Blue collection of Air Jordans. Just last year, at the end of 2013, Nike gave us a brand new colorway of the Air Jordan 11, the Gamma Blues. And in the final months of 2013, Nike also released these other two pairs of J's in Gamma Blue. The 3 Lab 5s came out at the end of September, and the Gamma 12s came out the day after Christmas. So every year at Christmas time, Nike's been issuing a pair of Jordan 11s for the last few years, and this year was no exception. But like I said earlier, these Gamma Blues are a brand new colorway. And at a first glance, they sort of resemble the Space Jams, kind of mixed up with the blackout samples that we've seen, all black Jordans. But when you look at these right here, look at them up close. Come on over here and have a look at the tongue. You're going to see that it says Jumpman Jordan in yellow with a little blue Jumpman logo. Early on, just like a whole bunch of different Air Jordan releases, Nike teased us with images of this pair of 11s. And at a first glance, we saw the yellow and blue, and we instantly thought of the Laney Air Jordan colorway. Over here is a pair of Laney Air Jordan 5s. 2013 was definitely the year of the Air Jordan 5. Well, maybe the year of the Air Jordan 1 as well. We got a ton of different Jordan 1s and 5s, and we all knew that the Laney colorway was going to come out. So when Nike teased us with the yellow and blue on the Jordan 11, a lot of us at first thought they were going to be Laney inspired. But it turned out that it was Gamma Blue, not Varsity Royal. Although the shade of yellow on the Gammas is the same as on the 5s. It's Varsity Maize. Remember, maize is Spanish for corn, and so it refers to the shade of yellow that matches corn. Anyway, I said earlier that these Gamma 11s were not the only Gamma shoe to come out in 2013. The first pair was the 3 Lab 5 over here, which is the first pair from the Element series. And you'll notice that the accents on this shoe are Gamma Blue, the exact same shade of blue that we saw on these 11s. So this was the first pair of 3 Lab 5s. Nike also released a second pair of 3 Lab 5s, and they're black and infrared. And when you look at these two shoes next to one another, they sort of conjure up memories of the Flip Air Jordan 3s. Originally, we had the Flips with gray elephant, and then later on, we got black Flips with black elephant print. And of course, the accents on this shoe are infrared. Infrared got its start on the Air Max 90 and also on the Air Jordan 6. I would argue, though, that the coolest thing about these infrared 3 Lab 5s is actually the paper that came along with them in the box. Let me open this up and you can come have a look at the paper. It actually reveals different elements from the Element series that are going to be coming out in future months. So we know that the Element series is going to continue beyond the 3 Lab 5, and the next one that we have slated is actually the 5 Lab 3. It's going to be a pair of Air Jordan 3s that are 3M metallic silver, like what was on the tongue of the Air Jordan 5 originally. And those shoes are going to have clear outsoles, just like the clear outsoles on the Air Jordan 5. Anyway, these 3 Lab 5s were $225. I wonder if the 5 Lab 3s will be the same price. The Jordan 11s were $185, and I'm surprised that Nike hasn't reached the $200 price point with Air Jordan 11s, and I'm sure it's going to happen really soon. So let's go back and talk about the different colors of the Air Jordan 11s. We know there's the bread color, we know there's the Concord colorway, there's the white and Columbias, there's also the white and metallic silver that came out for the 25th anniversary, there's cool grays, and there's Space Jams. And those are the ones that have been released to the public. There have also been some samples. There's the History of Flights that are white and red. There's also the 28 Days of Flight that came out last February as part of an Instagram contest. Those shoes are black and green, and they're 1 of 1. And then, of course, how could we forget about Ray Allen's player exclusive Air Jordan 11s that he started out this last season wearing? It'd be amazing if Nike would expand, though, beyond the simple palette of colors that they've issued to the public. Because if you think about it, all the Jordan 11s have either been black, white, or gray. And they could do this shoe in every shade under the sun. Imagine these shoes in bright red or in bright green. We've seen baby blue samples. Tinker Hatfield actually sent a pair and autographed them over to Usher earlier in the year. But nothing like that has ever been made available to the public. I think the price of Air Jordan 11s is going to go way up, and I think that Nike's going to start issuing this shoe in a whole bunch of different colors. If you think about some of the other popular Air Jordan retros, like the 1, the 3, the 4, the 5, there are so many different colors of the shoes. But the Air Jordan 11s, there's only, like I said, the black, the white, and the gray. Come on, Nike, give us some colors. Anyway, let's go over here to the Air Jordan 12, the third Gamma Blue shoe of 2013. It came out on December 26th, the day after Christmas. Nike released 150,000 pairs of this shoe. That compares to almost 500,000 pairs of the Gamma Blue 11. So these shoes were a lot tougher to get a hold of than this shoe, where actually 3 times as many were made. If you're interested in finding out about numbers of production and sales, follow somebody on Twitter named Matt Powell. Matt SOS is his Twitter name, and he likes to release information about the sales of popular Air Jordans, and it's really, really interesting. I found out from following him that this shoe, the Gamma 11, was the second most popular shoe from 2013. The most popular, the most sold anyway, was the Oreo 5s, just over 500,000 pairs. Think about a shoe like this being sold 500,000 times. It's a $185 shoe. So you sell it 500,000 times, and that's $92.5 million generated in a day. This shoe over here at 150,000 pairs, it retailed for $170, so it'll generate close to $20 million revenue, again, in just one day. One last thing to note about these black and Gamma Blue 12s, they sort of conjure up memories of the Nubuck edition of black and University Blue Air Jordan 12s. First issued in 2003, it was actually the first pair of Air Jordans exclusively sold online, and then retroed again in 2009. Of course, those shoes feature a lot more black, and the shade of blue isn't Gamma Blue, it's University Blue, but they're pretty close when you look at the color spectrum. University Blue, Gamma Blue, Powder Blue, like the Air Jordan 3s that just came out, it's all pretty much the same. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed checking out the Gamma family, and I hope you look forward to, just like me, Air Jordan 11s coming out in all different colors.